welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. I just want to take a minute to thank my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your friendship as well, and for your support of me and each other in the comment section. I truly appreciate you and appreciate your presence here. And as a big thank you to everyone who does comment, I do offer a chance to win a free reading with me for those who leave comments below my videos. So if you do leave me a comment, be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win, plus notify you if you are chosen the winner, because I have been having some difficulties contacting and getting into contact with the winners of my readings. So please be sure to drop your comment below and be sure to hit your notification bell. If you have found yourself here for the very first time, we want to welcome you to this space. Please join us, grab yourself a cup of tea and some snacks, and we'll have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together at my table. Today's pick a card, we're exploring the question about whether you should release this connection. Should you move on? What is Spirit's advice to you? Of course, it is your ultimate decision and choice on what you should do in this situation, but they will definitely give their 2 cents and their opinion. We have 3 piles for you to choose from today. We have pile number 1 with this little bee charm and this sort of chariot energy with the 2 horses. Pile number 2 with the butterfly charm and the sun. And pile number 3 with the ladybug charm and this rooster energy. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting from Spirit today, and my timestamps are below. I'm going to jump right into pile 1. Again, today we're exploring the question, should you move on? Should you release this connection? Pile number 1. Hello everyone in pile number 1. You were drawn to the little honeybee charm here, and it's also you're also drawn, I'm sorry, to this chariot energy. This is sort of a combination deck that I have. It's like the chariot, but it's also in combination with the 7 of swords here. The bee in of itself can talk about someone who's having a difficult time choosing. So you may have a difficult time choosing because this person may be kind of in a situation that doesn't allow a lot of wiggle room. You may feel like you're sacrificing your own happiness in lieu of this situation. So there could be many possible scenarios here of self-sacrifice. This person could feel like they're stuck somewhere where they're sacrificing. You also may have that type of energy. And there's a lot of hidden feelings between the 2 of you, and not a lot is being shared openly as well. The 7 of Swords can sometimes indicate too that we need to be honest with ourselves or other people about the dynamics of this connection. So take that as it resonates. Before we begin your reading here, we're going to keep those energies in mind. Before we get your advice, let's ask Spirit about what they think you should do here. Use this big deck. Should pile 1 move forward and give up on this connection? I often say that Spirit will never make your decision for you. And there's, I split the deck, there's the 2 of Pentacles and the chariot energy. Interesting, since we started with the chariot energy, this decision that's on your mind. There is a definite emotional aspect to the decision dynamic of the chariot. So it's like there's a huge emotional investment here. Should they move on and give up on this connection? We have the Hanged Man. Ooh. We have the Justice with the Death card coming out together, and that's very heavy major arcanic energy here. Should they give up here? King of Wands. Three of Wands reversed. And on the floor we have the 9 of Wands, or 9 of Cups showcasing as well. Should they move on or give up on this connection? We have the 4 of Cups. So there is definitely this dynamic here about reflection, because Spirit is really asking for that. They're asking for us to stop for a moment and to reflect upon our desires here. And they feel the desire. The King of Wands wants what he wants. You know, he's very focused on that desire, and he doesn't deviate from that mindset often. But it is sort of being paired by the Justice, the Death card, and then we have it sandwiched here between the Three of Wands reversed with the Nine of Cups reversed, which is a delay in their gratification, which is someone who wants quick results without necessarily putting in the necessary actions to create those results here. And so the Nine of Pentacles, the Hermit energy here is really talking about reflecting upon the temptation, and it feels like a very strong temptation in this connection for me for some reason, to reflect upon this temptation and our desires for it, and then to understand the practical steps that need to be placed before we can execute that hope. This person feels a little bit helpless to create change, and you may feel that way as well. And so Spirit is sort of asking for a surrender at this point. First, they want the reflection. But because there's this attitude that there's no movement possible. So they need you to reflect upon whether or not that's actually true, or whether we're sort of needing to take some of the veil off of ourselves, to be honest with ourselves and other people about the power we actually have to wield in change here. Let's clarify this Hanged Man energy. Thank you. We have the Wheel of Fortune. It's like someone in this connection is waiting for change to just happen. Waiting for something to just happen to bring the two of you back together, or to make things work. And there's like real necessary steps here to make a movement possible. And I feel like there is, for someone watching, I feel like there's a very strong practical energy in the way that needs to end before we can enter into anything here. It could be another relationship. It could be a responsibility. We have the Eight of Cups. Should you move on from this connection here? Ace of Wands. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Back of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles, and we have the Seven of Cups. Very interesting. Again, asking us to reflect, because they're saying that there's been a long period here of no movement, perhaps a very long stagnation here, and there's a lot of confusion that rests along that stagnation. But what that has actually afforded us is an opportunity to reflect, which we haven't perhaps taken advantage of to this point. So they're asking us to either tend to the garden that we have already planted and sow positive energy there, or to consider our options and then be willing to plant a new garden if that's what it takes in this situation. But we need to realize that we have power to wield, and that the success is dependent upon us here. And because of the trajectory of how we've applied force towards this situation in the past has not led us anywhere except for this point here with the Eight of Cups, Spirit is encouraging a release at this point, because the Eight of Cups encourages us to move away from a situation where it's sort of rife with fantasy, but no real action, no actual applied force to create change here. So they are asking us to consider releasing and going with the flow here with the situation. Even with the Hanged Man, with the Wheel of Fortune, because we find ourselves in a bit of a stagnation, they are asking us to surrender to our current situations, emotionally and otherwise, and allowing that natural wheel to get into motion in that way. Because whatever force we're applying here, it's not creating change. So unless we're willing to take the practical steps that we're guided to take to create the change, and I feel like they're huge sacrifices and huge shifts and changes that are needed, unless we're willing to put in that effort, and that's why the Eight of Pentacles showed up. Spirit is suggesting that we release and just go with the flow here. Otherwise, we're just sort of plummeting ourselves into a deeper despair, and perhaps even a deeper fantasy world when it comes to this particular connection at the moment. Let's get some words of encouragement from your guides and angels. Advice, please, for pile 1. Should they let go? We have this Insecurity card coming out with the Renewal card, and I feel like it's really important to talk about those two energies along with the Destiny card, because You feel strongly connected to this person and you don't want to release it. You don't want me to say that spirit is saying, you know, you should just surrender to this and release as it, you know, release the situation to fate as it stands. You don't want to hear that because you're fearful of releasing it, because it means that something that belongs to you could be snatched from you. Or if you're not focused on the want here, that it could somehow slip through your fingers, or the uniqueness of this connection could somehow be lost to you. Spirit says instead of worrying about that type of outcome, they want you to focus upon the renewal inside of yourself that needs to be the focus, because our inner state is outer state is a reflection of our inner world. And so if we are feeling restless, if we're feeling stuck, if we're feeling stagnant, if we're feeling a frustration with movement in general, in any connection or any area of our life, we need to start first inside of ourselves. I can't say the word interiorly right now with my braces, but inside of ourselves. Because when we can create change there, when we can bring ourselves to a state of balance and peace, it reflects everywhere. This insecurity dissolves away and we can start to self-focus on our path ahead. And if we can raise that vibration, sometimes we can naturally allow the frequencies to balance each other out, and then it naturally flows back towards us. But we have to take that sort of risk, don't we? We have to risk choosing ourselves. And it's not really a risk, Spirit says, because these connections that are really strong, they have a purpose for us. And sometimes they're meant to push us to the precipice of this awareness. And that's so valuable to you and so valuable to your ascension in a spiritual way. Oops. Please, for pile number 1, when it comes to the future of this connection, should they release? Should they let go? We have the teacup, so they're asking you to rest. They're asking you to rest, to take pause at this moment, to reflect, to gain awareness, and to allow this renewal to begin, to allow this process of rebirth to begin within you, because they're noticing the emotional toll, the 9 of Swords, this emotional toll that this connection and the focus on it is bringing you. It lights you up inside, but at the same time, it also consumes in a way, because that energy, that flame has nowhere to go but inside of ourselves. We have the Boar here, which is talking about masculine energy, aggressive type of energy as well. And we have the future. The Boar is talking about the divine masculine, and kind of reminds me of the King of Wands energy, actually, of charging in towards our desires, our wants. But in this case, it's like we are being guided to, you know, this person perhaps is seeing all of these setbacks, all of the fire inside of this Boar. You could be the divine masculine asking this question. All of the fire inside of this king is just stifled. It's creating an aggression, it's creating a frustration, and it's creating the uncertainty here. The Octavia E. Butler, all of these suckers from the past holding on, this connection representing perhaps that past, and it's holding us stagnant right now. The uncertainty is keeping our vibration in this state of insecurity. And so Spirit wants that to be rectified by resting, by taking pause and taking a bit of a breather. Releasing it for our own good at this time. In an attempt, really, truly, your spirit guides say, in an attempt to balance out that energy. Advice, please, for pile number 1. Should they release and let go of this connection? We have here, it's time to take action, but it's reversed. It's reversed. And we also have here a new romantic cycle begins for you on the other side of that. Luck is on your side. It may not feel like it in a moment like this when Spirit's like you should release, you should, you should surrender to the flow of the way things are right at this moment. But that's what's going to usher you into this new romantic cycle. That's what's going to naturally balance out the energies and allow the confusion to dissolve and allow you to feel more fulfilled in an emotional way in general. So they're always encouraging steps towards your highest ultimate good. That's always their goal. Let's get a charm bowl for you. A charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. Whoops. advice in the bowl for pile 1. We have a card already out. It is the Temperance card. It's reversed, so there's a lot of imbalance here, which is why we have all of these issues with balance in your reading. The Temperance is reversed, which is talking about chaotic energy, feeling out of sorts. And there's almost a desperation right now with that, wanting that physical reunion. I can really feel that, wanting the physical reunion here. And there's also this sort of fear of releasing the control, because then things feel out of my control. It's like, I don't want to release this connection because then it's out of my control. We have the High Priestess. But your higher self is asking you to trust in the divine detours, trust in this situation that you feel so out of sorts about. Trust in the messages that are coming in as well, because it's guiding you through. You may not see the forest through the trees, but they say that they're trying to bring you into a new romantic cycle. They're trying to bring in the peace that you're actually searching for in this moment. And if you are, if this King of Wands is reflecting the person of interest in this situation, they're just not prepared to create change in their own situation at this moment. You may not even feel prepared to release as well. It's like you may be listening to this reading being like, I'm not letting go yet. It's like, I'm not ready. And Spirit can sense that you don't feel prepared. Then they kind of come over the top to challenge you in the same way that we always challenge when we reach this precipice of change or this obstacle. They challenge us that even though we're not prepared to perhaps release or relinquish our control here, to make that leap anyway, and to do that afraid. To value our experience enough to know that we deserve a new romantic cycle for ourselves. Whoops. We have here friend. So this could be a friend situation that you are asking about, and you're hoping for more, but there's a delay in the gratification and it may not move forward the way that you're hoping for. All of these are reversed. We have here Virgo in the bowl, the letters W and Y. Wyoming, perhaps. We have forever. We have the American flag as well. So there could definitely be a connection to the United States. I'm Canadian, so I say it like that. I know it must sound weird for my American friends. We have here forever. Forever with a puzzle piece. The other side says friends. And that's the other thing about release, is that there's such a fear here of releasing, because then it feels like I lose something. But Spirit doesn't want you to feel that way. They want you to understand that you're gaining. You're always just gaining. When you leave something behind, or even the potential of something behind, you have still gained so much awareness. You've gained so much within the dynamics of that relationship. We have here the King of Cups. And we also have here, thou shalt not commit adultery. And I do feel like there could be other dynamics. Again, we started out with this Chariot energy, the Seven of Swords, which is kind of secrecy. It's kind of a decision to be made sometimes between the left and the right, this way or that way, this person, that person. So take that as it resonates. We also have the yin yang in the bowl. All right, group 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. And if it did, I would love to hear your story in the comment section. I would love for you to be a part of this beautiful family and subscribe to this channel. If you do choose to subscribe and leave me a comment, be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a free reading and I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. You can also check out my links for Instagram, and I offer private readings through Etsy. Over the holidays, my schedule will be a little bit staggered, but I will be making announcements once those slots, as they continue to open up throughout the new year. But I hope that you come back here for another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care. Hello everybody. In pile number 2, you were drawn to the butterfly charm or to the sun card here, and this is your reading. Should you move on from this connection? Should you release it? Spirit will give you their advice, but of course the ultimate decision lies in your hands, and they will walk with you no matter what path you choose to walk in the connection that you are asking about today. But we're beginning with this butterfly energy, which is talking about a transformation. Now, these transformations for me with the butterfly always start inside of ourselves, because our exterior world is a reflection of our inner state. Now, we do have the sun here, which is talking about joy, gratification, happiness. And we have the Seven of Pentacles in conjunction with this sun image. So it's talking about patience, perhaps, and feeding energy similar to the joy and sun energy into this opportunity. So joy begets joy, being patient and sowing seeds of gratitude and hope along the way. And it might have to start inside yourself. So let's see what Spirit has to say about this connection. Should you release it? Should you continue to work towards it? Should you let go? And should you move on? I'm using the Wizard Tarot for you today. Whoops. It's a little bit of a stiff deck. It's hard for me to shuffle. So what is Spirit's advice for you in this case? Should you release? Should you move on from this person? We have here the Sun, and we started with the Sun. Leo energy, very strong at this point. We have the Queen of Wands. You could definitely be a Leo, Aries perhaps. Should you release this connection? Should you move on? We have the World. It feels like you think that there's unfinished business here. It's like it feels like there's still, like you feel the potential and you're still very much focused on more in this situation. Ace of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. Woo. This is exciting. I feel kind of charged up with the energy, if I'm honest. It feels ripe with potential. It may require patience, perhaps. Let's clarify this row. Seven of Swords. Six of Cups. And you know what? There's this sense here, too, of you like second guessing this. It's like you have this knowledge that there could be way more here. And with patience, with the applying of practical steps towards that goal, that it's possible. And you may sort of second guess that within yourself. You may sort of tell yourself it's not possible, or because of fear, you may tell yourself it's an unrealistic expectation. But Spirit in this case says it's only unrealistic if you choose that it's unrealistic. Yeah, it's possible here. You should not let go, Spirit says. This is not a case where they're encouraging release. In fact, they are encouraging patience and a healing energy inside of yourself. Then that transformation that we talked about with the butterfly, with the sun planting new seeds, that is definitely true for you. You definitely need to start to work on your inner state, because your confidence needs to be bolstered a little bit. You have the King of Pentacles. It may feel like patience is required here, because I feel like there could be some big practical concerns that do get in the way coming from the Divine Masculine's end. And sometimes these challenges can seem insurmountable, and so we can really allow the insecurity of how things are going to transgress or how things are going to expand before us. We can allow the uncertainty to feed insecurity into the situation. Here's the Queen of Swords, Nine of Beasts with the Tower energy. Now, there's a very interesting dynamic to this reading coming in, and it's always important to remember that I'm dealing with collective energy. So if this doesn't apply to you or it doesn't resonate with you, you can try a different pile or a different reading. There's a sense here of boldness required almost. The bolstering of your inner state is a requirement of the expansion here, because your confidence has to be raised. Spirit keeps us adamant about that. The confidence in you has to be raised, because it may require your actions to create change and shifts in this situation, because it appears like this masculine energy doesn't have the security or the confidence themselves to step outside of their comfort zones to create change. Their fears, their worries, they loom over them in a very real way, a very big way. It's not that they're not also focused on the same sort of thing. You can even see his head's in the shape of a heart. But the Queen of Swords, you know, it kind of reminds me of that saying about the head of the household, like the divine masculine being the head of the household, but the divine feminine is the neck that turns the head. And really, this is like a case of that, the divine feminine swooping in and doing the dirty work, doing the messy stuff, doing what the divine masculine can't do in this case, which is wielding change and wielding the truth in this situation. There is a frustration in general when it comes to the two of you, because I feel like two people who are fearing permanent change, fearing being found out, because of the consequences of that. You know, it's like fearing permanent change, fearing rejection. But this Nine of Wands is a reminder to us that we could be so close to the precipice of change, that all of this patience and, you know, positive seeds that we've planted along the way may be close to coming to fruition if we just put in one last ditch effort, one last ditch sort of application of strength towards the situation, and allow the epiphanies to come in, allow the towers to fall, allow our emotions to be laid bare and be known in the situation, because there's a sense of us suppressing how we feel. You can see the Queen of Swords shoving a sword down her throat. It's like we have been suppressing how we feel because we've been matching the frequency of this person, and it's been stealing our hope, and it's been stealing our confidence as far as creating change. And in the future, we have this Ace of Wands, which is talking about a spark that exists. And we can either put it out, or we can fan it with our voice, with, you know, fuel it with air. So Spirit is not encouraging you to release. In fact, they are saying you may need to be the one who makes the moves here, sparks change. Because this person, it's almost like there's a requirement of their healing. It's a requirement of their healing. But the Six of Cups is talking about what could be waiting for you at the other side of this. This is a beautiful love energy. This is an innocent type of love that's like you want to change it. It's like you want to shift it from an innocent love into something more. So this could be a friend situation that you're asking about at this time. But they're encouraging you to kind of stay the course here. Patience may be required of you, and I almost feel like patience has already been a requirement here. You could be growing frustrated with that patience because this Queen of Wands does not like to be kept waiting. But if we keep our eye on the prize, and we, you know, joy begets joy. You can see in this Seven of Swords, they're squinting. It's like I'm telling myself that I won't be able to make it to that prize. But that's why the sun is featuring this huge eyeball wide open. Keeping our eye on the prize and keeping ourselves in a state of happiness, gratitude, confidence can lead us to a lot here, can lead us to success. There's that Queen of Cups. She's wearing a mask. So if you are the divine feminine here, the Lovers, ruled by Gemini, is telling you have a choice to make. The decision is yours about whether you want to release or move forward. If you're waiting for this person to come forward and make the shifts, you may be waiting forever. And if you want them to make the shifts and changes, then you may want to release. The Queen of Swords can represent that for you as well. It's like, you know what? I have an expectation of how I want things to go, and if you're not going to meet that expectation, I will sever that connection. But instead, Spirit says to, if you feel the fuel is here to fan up higher, you need to feed that energy, because this person may not be willing to do so. So the decision is in your hands, but they are suggesting to stay the course in this case. Let's get some advice, please, for pile number 2. We have the Guilt Charm. This card is an interesting card to come up in this dynamic here, because I'm not necessarily getting the overwhelming sense here that anyone is stuck in any type of situation, although the King of Pentacles can sometimes be, along with the Tower. There is a sense here of truly like being an angel to another person, sacrificing perhaps a lot for other people in your life, and you may feel like that's sort of a role you've taken a lot in the past. So you may be hesitant to take this course of having to take the reins and be in control, because you feel like you're always taking that role in life, so it's frustrating. There's the Insecurity card back of deck as well. I feel like there's a strong overwhelming sense from someone who's watching of like frustration that they're always the one who's called to take the higher road. We have the wisdom. And that's because, honestly, it sounds, I know it's frustrating to always kind of be asked to be the one to take that high road, or to be the one to take the action here. But this person is so fearful of rejection. And it's not even that you're not fearful of the same thing. You are, but you're more equipped. You are more well-versed in handling these emotions, this wisdom. It's like you are on a different level than this person spiritually. You have ascended. That's why you're the Queen of Swords, and they're being represented by the King of Pentacles. It has really little to do with the actual signs involved here, and everything to do with the energy that you both represent. We have the growth here. This growth card talks about plucking out the old to make room for the new. Sometimes this represents an actual thing we need to remove. So an actual situation we find ourselves in, we need to pull out from a situation that we have invested a lot of time and energy into in order to allow growth otherwise. So that may be a message that resonates with you. But also it's talking about the growth that's possible here. It's talking about the growth that's definitely possible in this situation. And that is not always the case. I know that sometimes I get comments in my comment section about tarot readers that are always filled with good news. And that's not always the case. You'll find that on my channel, that I am not always filled with good news like this. Advice, please, for pile number 2. We have the intellect. And you are this intellect. You could be an air sign watching here today. It's like, and that you could be a Gemini, even if we saw that lover's energy, because it's like you have the ability to rationalize. You have the ability to overcome your emotions with your thought, and that's a real asset to you. And that's an asset that perhaps this person doesn't have. You have overcome many aspects. You've battled with your ego a couple of times and you've won. And this person is less prepared to win an argument or a battle with their ego. We have the braid, surviving the opinions of other people. And that could be a real issue in this situation. That could be a real problem for this divine masculine energy. And of course, again, we're applying it as a problem to the divine masculine. It's also an issue that causes insecurity for you, but you are more equipped. You are, there's strength about you, there's power about you, there's authority about you. That's how spirit sees you, and that's what they feel like you are capable of. We have the ghost on the back of the deck. The ghost adds to the message of rejection, because that's why we fear rejections. We fear the repeat of past situations. The opinions of others representing all of these ghosts that surround us, that haunt us, that feed into all of these insecurities and add to all of our confusion. That can steal some of our clarity too. That's why I love that the Lovers is here with the intellect card and this Queen of Swords, because it showcases that you're able to rise above that. And instead you can just be inspired by this to create change, and you know how powerful you are to create that change. Advice, please, for pile number 2. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. Focus. Again, an air element. And I love this. Back of the deck is your butterfly breakthrough. Get ready for a big transformation. Get ready for a big breakthrough that starts within. And I love that. I don't feel like you should give up on this connection. I feel like there's still a lot of potential if you choose to walk down that path. And of course, your guides and angels, as I said at the beginning of this reading, that your guides and angels will definitely be rallying around you. Advice, please, for pile number 2. Let's see how this person is currently feeling about pile number 2. What are their current feelings for pile 2 in the bowl? In the bowl today, we have, for feelings from your person, we have the Moon, so they're suppressing their feelings, the Seven of Cups reverse, and the Justice reverse. So they're really suppressing and pushing down all of their feelings because they're really fearful of letting them out. And they feel kind of imbalanced, or it feels like it's an unfair situation, the situation between the two of you. And that could be for many, many reasons. There could be position problems, there could be practical concerns, there could be maybe even a third party, but again, I'm not getting an overwhelming sense of that, but take as it resonates to your situation. Things don't feel balanced or fair, and they're just not prepared to wield the truth towards you because of the confusion that they feel. This Seven of Cups reverse, though, is talking about how there is wiggle room in this connection, and there's the power to clear up confusion. There's potential for this person to do that as well, but Spirit doesn't feel like they're actually going to execute that action. And instead, they are, again, calling upon you to shine a light on the path of potential. We have Police. We have the Sun. There could be a delay, a little bit of delay here with the Sun reversed. We have the letter E. We have the Whale, and it's the whale of expression. So Spirit is urging you to express yourself. We also have the Owl, looking at things from a higher perspective, also a representation of the Queen or King of Swords. We have the Teddy Bear. So there could be children involved in this connection in some way, or this could have roots in childhood in some way. We have self-sacrifice with Jesus on the cross, and we have a Key. So somebody could feel like they are sacrificing, again, their wants for the good of other people. There's like this sense of like putting in all the effort, being an angel to other people as well. We have Give the Girl the Right Shoes and She Will Conquer the World, a quote from Marilyn Monroe, and that's really this Queen of Swords mentality at this point. We also have the King of Swords here, and we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the letter Z. Patience may be required of you. All right, group 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated with you. And if it did, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful family here. And if you do subscribe, be sure to drop me a comment below and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading. I also offer a chance to win a free mini read on Instagram on a monthly basis, and I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below. The schedule for the holidays will be a little bit different, but I'm still going to be posting slots for personal readings over the course of the holidays. So keep checking back if you don't see any slots opened. It just means I've sold out for that day. But I hope that you come back here for another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care. Hello everybody. In pile number 3, you were drawn to the Ladybug or to the Rooster card here, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, should you move on? Should you give up on this connection? We do have the Ladybug here, which is a symbol of good luck. And then we have this Rooster with this Ten of Swords energy combined with it. So this is sort of like the Judgment card combined with the Ten of Swords. And it's a call for reflection. And the purpose of that reflection, as I often say on my channel, is to create new beginnings here. But there's also a sadness associated with this Ten of Swords. There's a release associated with it, which may come in handy later on with your message. But we'll see what your message entails. Should you move on from this connection, or should you try and keep focusing on a new start, a new beginning? Either possibility is sort of being orchestrated or illustrated by this card of new beginnings or perhaps release. So let's see. Let's take a look. As I often say, Spirit is going to give their advice about the situation, but the final outcome lies in your hands, and they're going to walk with you no matter what path you choose. They don't believe in mistakes, they just believe in educations. Some paths will lead us down tougher courses than others. Should group 3 move on from this connection? Should they move on from this connection? We have the Six of Wands. And we have the Fool. Ooh. We have the Moon with the King of Wands. So there's a deep desire reflected here, but it also feels like something that we're having to suppress and not share with other people. Should you move on from this connection? You have the Tower. And we have the Star energy. Back of the deck is the Empress. Let's clarify, please, this row. Should they move forward from this connection? Should they release it? Two of Swords. And you know, that's really the energy that I'm feeling. If there's like, you're so on the fence about releasing, because the idea of releasing is such an emotional one. It feels like a real loss when it's combined with that Ten of Swords energy. Three of Wands. The Seven of Wands with the Temperance energy. Spirit wants you to consider, they're feeling the energy that you're giving off as far as release. They feel the anxiety that you perhaps feel with the idea of letting go. They want you to, for a moment though, consider the release and the healing that comes, the new perspectives that could come if you do allow that release to happen. Because in this case, they're saying that epiphanies and healing and reflections can come on the other side of this release. And they are sort of encouraging that at this point. Because there is this, and even there's the Death card with the Five of Swords. They're saying that this situation is rife with obstacle and rife with situations that cast you in this state. The Five of Swords is like a situation that's not actually serving you moving forward. It's not serving the person, perhaps. It's not serving anyone involved, and it's just creating more reasons or more examples of why we need to heal. It's like we don't want to admit that to ourselves, though. It's like we don't want to throw in the towel in this case. It's like I'm afraid to wave the white flag in this case. And even the horse is looking back saying, don't you think it's time for us to rest? Don't you think it's time for us to throw in the towel in this case? But it's like, I'm not seeing you. I'm not hearing you. I don't want to hear that. I'm not trusting or following my intuition in this case because I really am hoping for that expansion. And that's what Spirit is here to sort of gently urge you to understand, is that they want that expansion for you too. But that expansion may not come with this person. It's coming for you. And there's gateways so beautiful waiting for you on the other side of this release. But it's not going to happen until that healing happens. And we're avoiding that. Spirit says we're avoiding that because we're afraid of how long it's going to take. And I almost feel like I could cry, actually. I feel like I'm welling up because it's like we're afraid of how long that can take, or the expectations of how long this could take. There's this fear of the healing process because we know it's going to take a while, and we don't know how to start, and we don't know how to release, and we don't know how to go about the process of releasing this situation, because it's like we had a focus, we have a plan, and we don't want to deviate from it because we're afraid of what that means if we deviate from it. But that's what Spirit wants us to understand, is that we know what this situation entails, so it's a comfort zone. We know what this feels like. Even if it's painful, we know what that feels like. It's comforting. We don't know what expansion feels like, so that's scary. But Spirit says that it's better. It's better than the expansion you expected here. It's better than what you've been experiencing. And that's kind of the problem that we fall into in relationships and in connections like these when we do separate, when there is the need for healing. The healing doesn't happen overnight, and we tell this narrative in society sometimes that, wash them out of your hair, or to get over someone else, get under someone else. We have this narrative of like, get over, have everything happen quickly, and we are not honoring the true nature of healing and the time that it takes. And that there's joy within that journey too. That's what we're avoiding, that situation, but there's joy within that as well. That grief and joy can exist at the same time in this process. The Tower is urging us to see things objectively so that we can allow the healing to come in. And the objective thought that Spirit wants to bring to our attention is the nature of this connection and where it could possibly lead us if we decided to hold on. Can we clarify the Tower, please? The Knight of Cups. We're so fearful of release. We're fearful of trudging down a new pathway here. But this path is leading you, the new path is leading you to the sun, is leading you to happiness, is leading you to satisfaction. And this path, this Ten of Swords energy, this judgment, it's a call. You can see the rooster, it's like a wake-up call. And we feel trapped in this energy. It's like we do not know how to release. We don't know how to let go of it. And we don't know what waits on the other side of it either. We're afraid because there's honestly, I just looked at the King of Pentacles underneath this, the Two of Cups. It's like we've attached soulmate or twin flame energy to this connection, so we don't want to let it go because we're worried about what that means. Does that mean we're alone in the world? Does that mean we're settling for second best? And Spirit's here to come over the top with that energy and say not to fear that. Because again, they're saying what's waiting for you is better than what you expected here. And you don't even know, because this is where this connection has left you, this state of want. But what you can have totality, you can have finality, you can walk through gates of success, you can feel that comfort, you can feel something better coming for you. And you may be wasting your potential here. That's what Spirit's saying here as well. The imbalance that you're experiencing, you're adding to it and you're wasting your potential in this situation when there's so much waiting for you on the other side of that release. So your guides and angels are suggesting a release and for you to move forward, to allow that a healing to begin, the process of that healing to begin. And they understand it's a challenge for you. This moon energy, it's a challenge, but it's also leading you, this reflection is leading you to a new course. A new opportunity. And they say that there are, if you listen to the voice and the sounds of Spirit and your guide, they're trying to communicate this with you about this situation. We have here the grief. We're very fearful of releasing here. I can feel that. I got very emotional. We're very fearful of releasing because it feels like we're taking away something that belongs to us, or it's a part of us in some way. But in this card, you can see that this despair has enveloped her so much that she's refusing to see the peace that is desperate to cascade upon her, like desperate to overflow her. So we're kind of dragging our heels. It's kind of like when, and I just pictured, in my mind, I just saw, one of those old time movies where the woman is grabbing her child by the ear and she's pulling them towards the bathtub. It's like we want to renew you. We want to help you in this case, but there's this idea that there's soulmate energy here. And Spirit's here to challenge that idea, and not to say this isn't your soulmate, not to say that there isn't really strong connections in spirit here, but to challenge the concept of the purpose of the soulmate in your experience. Because we have many soulmates perhaps that come in and usher change and push us to the precipice of change. And you push this person perhaps to step outside of their comfort zones, and perhaps they're not willing to do that. The purpose of this connection, Spirit says, is to push you to self-awareness, is to help you persevere so that you can see your own value, so that you can see spiritual truths. They are helping you on your course towards that highest version of yourself. They are not perhaps the last step towards that ascension, but they're definitely a stepping stone, and there's beautiful value in that. They're not negating the purpose this person had in your experience or the effect that they've had on you. They're not negating that. You've learned a lot. There's beautiful energy there between you, but it's just not serving you now. And so it may be time for you to detach, let go of surrender to the flow here. Surrender to the natural release that wants to happen in this situation. And this is sort of the wake-up call, Spirit says. This was the wake-up call. Perhaps you've been asking for a sign. And maybe you can even ask Spirit further. You can say, show me a chicken. Show me a rooster to prove that what that girl was saying on YouTube is true. We even have time to go. It's time to go. It's time to release in this case. Your guides are using this opportunity to give you their opinion, but of course it is your choice, and they will support you no matter what path you choose. We have mending. And we may be, again, we're avoiding the healing process because we're worried about that. We don't know what it's going to feel like. We don't know if it's going to be worse than what we're experiencing now. And Spirit's here to say, you know, you've already survived 100% of those worst days. And so you're capable of anything that's coming. You're at an impasse, though, and it's only up to you. Here's the 1 and the 3 is a 4. Here we have the 4 of Wands as your back of deck. You have a choice to make. It is your choice to make. And you can see it's like this alpaca. It even has antlers, which is interesting. This alpaca energy. It's like we take what we've learned from the past with us in our arsenal, but we keep moving forward. You know, we keep moving forward. Advice, please, for pile number 3. It's time to lighten up, hummingbird joy. And that's sort of answering the question that we were talking about earlier about how do I start? How do I begin the process? How do I move into a state of vulnerability? And it sounds a lot simpler, and it sounds maybe even too simple, but planting seeds of gratitude, planting seeds of joy in the present moment, shifting that narrative in our mind that we're not lost, that we may be grieving, but there's still reasons to be grateful. That's a beautiful start. That's a beautiful start. Even laughter. You know, researchers who were studying wolves discovered that it didn't matter what the state of the wolf pack was. It didn't matter if they were starving for 4 days. It didn't matter if they had lost a member the day before. Every morning, the adults would get up and they'd play, because it's so important to maintain connections, to maintain vibrational energies and keep them high. We have squirrel preparation. Get ready for big changes. You may be nervous to detach, but the universe rewards boldness. And on the other side of that leap, again, is so much more than what you've experienced here. So much more than what you've experienced. And when you look back, you're going to be very, very grateful that you chose this course, perhaps. Back of the deck says, Coyote, wise fool, accept your follies and find the teaching in them. Don't look at your past as a mistake. There are no mistakes in that sense. Spirit says it was an education. You learned, you grew. It's kind of like 5th grade math. Once you passed 5th grade math, you didn't go back and redo it. You didn't think about it for the rest of your life. You just took what you could gain from that and you kept moving forward. And that's what they're asking you to do here. Obviously a very simplified version when we compare it to 5th grade math, but Spirit says we can apply the same concepts to the situation. Let's get a charm bowl here. For you, group 3, what does this person currently feel for you right this moment? What are their main feelings for group 3 in the bowl right this moment? 9 of Wands, Ace of Swords, and we have the Devil. So they still feel very attached to you as well. They also may sort of be stuck in a situation that doesn't allow them to detach and come towards you. There's a frustration in general surrounding the connection. And there's still, again, I feel it's mirrored. The two of you are sort of holding on here, but there's no truth coming in. There's no like admission of these feelings coming in. And so there is this sense of release even with this Devil, because he wants to showcase upside down when we turn the bowl about releasing from a insecure attachment. So they may feel like they're stuck and unable to come towards you, which is why Spirit again is encouraging movement forward, because there doesn't seem to be wiggle room in their energy anyway. So going towards them or maintaining your focus on them could just leave you in a perpetual state of waiting. And they want to get you to the community cards. They want to get you to the 10s. They want you to come full circle. We have the black starfish, which is a symbol of healing from a permanent loss. Sometimes it's a healing from a death even, so take that as it resonates. We have here the 4 of Cups, a sense of apathy and not feeling like I have power to change things. Also talking about sort of not recognizing gifts that Spirit wants to usher in for us. We have the whale tail going with the flow. We do have the blue star, which is kind of a hopelessness that's setting in for this connection. Aquarius energy as well, so there could be Aquarius energy between you. We also have the star in your reading. We have a blocked heart chakra, or it could be a hospital nursing connection with the stethoscope. We have Sagittarius. We have the ice pick as well, picking away at a cool exterior. perhaps, you know, even picking a way to get ourselves in motion as well. We have handmade in the bowl. All right, group number 3, that's what I have for you today, and I hope that it resonated with you. If it did, I would love to hear your story below in the comments section so that I can get words of encouragement back to you. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel as well if you aren't already a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, or if you choose to subscribe, please be sure to drop me a comment below and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading. And the notification bell system is very important, otherwise I can't notify you if you're chosen. And I've had a difficult time notifying my winners in the past, so please be sure to hit that notification bell. You can also check me out on Instagram, and you can check out my Etsy account below for a personal reading. But I hope that you come back here for another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a very great day today.